Hello, welcome, and thank you for coming back again for another round of yoga. I'm Kate and I'm going to be guiding you through this class today. So we're just going to connect to the breath before we go anywhere. So coming to find a comfortable seat, that means just to sit cross-legged. You can elevate your hips with those bricks if you have them, or books if that feels better for the hips. Sometimes it's nice just to play with that, just to see how it feels. Just helps elevate the hips. Gives you some space into the hips and to the spine, and also just gives you that sense of kind of feeling more empowered and taller in general. So just coming to a place here, connecting your hands perhaps to the thighs or maybe into a prayer at your heart center or your third eye, completely dependent on you and your choices in the class today. And just taking some really deep inhale breaths through the nose and exhale. Just allowing the breath to fall out through the mouth. So it's not forced, you're just breathing, which is much harder than what it sounds. So just taking those deep inhale breaths through the nose, exhale, just allowing the breath to fall out through the mouth. And just remembering that yoga is breath guided into movement and breath kind of working in this unison together. So you never want to be anywhere where you can't breathe, you never want to be anywhere where you feel any sharp pain. Just using this as an opportunity to explore on the mat, to play and to really connect to a deeper sense of your own intuition as well. So trusting yourself here on the mat today. So whatever is going on for you right now, just allow those shoulders to soften down, allow the brow to really relax, allow the jaw to release. Keeping always this connection of your belly in towards the spine, just finding that strength there from your core. So taking 2 more deep breaths here. Deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, let it go. 1 more deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, let it go. And let's do 1 more for luck. So deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, let it go. Well done. And then we're going to transition straight away now into a child's pose. So just gently transition off your brick if you've been using a brick. Bringing those hands to the top line of your mat if you're using a mat, or in line with the shoulders. And then bringing the tailbone back towards the heels into your child's pose. So remember, the hips can be as high as you need them to be. The hands, if they don't feel good forwards, can come back towards the feet. Your forehead here is connected to the floor, and you're sending your inhale breath all the way to the back line of the spine. And as you exhale, you're allowing your tailbone to come down towards the heels. So just remember as well, never compare your body to my body, never compare to what I'm doing. I'm working with different limitations, so my movement might be different to yours, and our anatomy is completely different as well. So we all have different length arms and legs and all sorts of things. So just really use this as a chance to, I'm guiding you, but you're really focusing on you, your body, your breath, your space. So taking 1 more deep breath in here through the nose. Exhale, just allow the breath to fall out through the mouth. And then on your next inhale breath, sit the belly to the spine. And as you exhale now, start to take the hands towards the right hand side. So remember, your hips might be lower towards the heels than mine. My hips won't go any further than this at the moment, so it's, find that place that works for you. So your hands are here towards the right hand side. If that doesn't work for you, the hands could just be down here in line with the forehead, just making sure really that you're connecting to that breath. 1 more deep breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, walking those hands through the center, take them towards the left hand side. So depending on your space, you might be able to go further around to the left than I can here. I've hit the bench. So just working intuitively with that sense of fun, that sense of play in your space. It's a time to explore on the mat here. Just really sending any breath that you can to that area of tightness or discomfort. Taking 1 more deep inhale breath here. As you exhale, walk those hands back through the center and coming up to a tabletop position. So spreading the fingers really wide under the shoulders here. Keeping those shins pressing down in towards the floor. We're going to work through some cat and cows to mobilize the spine. So on your inhale, lifting through the tailbone, lifting through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, tucking the chin, tucking the pelvis, doming through the spine. On your inhale, finding that length and extension and that lift. without throwing the head back. And as you exhale, tucking the pelvis, tucking it under here. Now your movement might be really small, so keep moving here with your own breath, your own cycle. If that looks too much or feels too much for you, maybe you're just moving the head up and down. Maybe you're just experimenting with that tuck of the pelvis. Maybe you're just looking to soften into the back and then neutralize the spine. So just using this as a chance to really connect to where you and your body are at right now. Using it as that chance to play. So let's do one more, tucking it under there, rolling up into the spine. Well done, coming through to a neutral spine here. And then what you're going to do, we're going to play with a little bit of balance. So just work carefully in your space, but just, you know, as I said before, take it one step at a time, have a little play. Take an inhale breath here, and then exhale, extend the right hand and the left foot. So we're working in opposition. Now you can stay here, it can be either up on the fingertips or down palm flat on the right hand side. Stay here with the toes, hands connecting, or take an inhale breath, and as you exhale you're going to extend, reaching the right arm forwards, reaching the left arm back, left leg back, sorry. If that feels too much, you just come back down to that first position. Taking an inhale breath here, exhale, bringing the right hand down, the left knee down, just recentering, and we're going to change sides. So take an inhale here, exhale, extend the left hand, and the right foot, toes are down, so just keeping that hip balanced on the right hand side. You can stay here, or take an inhale, and as you exhale, extending, lifting, extending, reaching. So don't worry about the height, it's about the length. Again, if it feels too much, you just bring it back down. Take one more deep inhale breath here, squeezing into the glutes on the right hand side. Exhale, bring that left hand down, the right knee down, and come down into a child's pose. So just stretching through back into the spine here. We're going to transition from child's pose to tabletop. So inhale here, and then exhale, come through to your tabletop. Inhale, coming back to child's pose. Exhaling, coming forwards to your tabletop. Two more here. Inhale, coming back. Well done. Exhale, coming forwards, keeping the face super soft. Inhale, coming back. Exhale, coming forwards. And now you're going to start to really play into that movement. So starting perhaps to find a combination of the cat and cow, maybe bringing the thighs down, maybe staying here, just finding some circles with the spine. Maybe it's taking it into even bigger movements depending on what feels good for you. So just making sure you're connecting the breath to the movement, you're not holding your breath, and you're really playing into an intuitive movement here on the mat. That's it. Well, there's no right or wrong, literally no right or wrong, as long as you're supporting into your spine and you're not working through sharp pain. Well done. Take one more deep inhale breath here. Exhaling, coming back to your tabletop. Well done, or via child's pose if that feels good for you. So from here, take an inhale breath. Exhale, tuck the toes, lifting your tailbone high on the exhale breath into a downward facing dog. Just pedaling the heels here, finding that waking up of the calf muscles. Keeping the breath flowing. And if it doesn't feel good for you at any time, you can take that resting pose. You can always come back to child's pose. Otherwise, staying here, downward facing dog. And then coming to find a still position for one more deep breath in. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. And then inhale, soften your knees, look forwards. Bring the knees down towards the floor. Untuck the toes, bring your tailbone back to a child's pose here. Now from here, you're going to start to connect to a breath in through your nose and out through your nose. So if that gets too complicated at any time, don't worry if the breath comes out through the mouth. Otherwise, you're going to start to bring that breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. So starting to also calm down that nervous system at the same time. But like I said, if you can't breathe at any point, just let the air come out of the mouth. It's not a stress. On your next inhale breath, come forwards to a tabletop. Exhale, tuck the toes, come to a downward facing dog. And then from here, inhale, look forward, soften the knees and start to tiptoe your feet towards your hands. Keep the knees as bent as you need to. So you're holding here in a forward fold, If that doesn't feel good for you, you can come up to here, even using those hands on the thighs to help assist you to that flat back, maybe keeping the elbows here. Hanging over those legs, take one more deep breath in through your nose. And as you exhale, rolling up through the spine, keep the knees as soft as you need to, head, shoulders tucked, back issues, you're walking up with those hands, coming up with a flat back to stand at the top of your space into Tadasana. This is mountain pose. So feet together to touch here. Bring the arms by the sides, palms by the sides facing forwards. Closing your eyes if you'd like to, or softening the gaze. Setting an intention for your practice. So offering out your class to someone or something. If you'd like to do that, you absolutely don't need to do that if you don't want to. But just extending that energy to something or someone beyond yourself who could benefit from it. Maybe it's you want to channel a really positive energy into the movement in the rest of the class. Taking one more deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. Just feeling the ground beneath the feet. Take one more deep breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. Well done. And then if your eyes are closed, just open your eyes, look down at your feet. So feet connection, foot connection to the floor is Pada Bandha, your foot lock. So wherever you are in a yoga practice, you want to try and keep that foot lock, that foot solid and strong onto the earth. That's going to help you feel grounded and safe. So really looking down there, try and spread those toes as wide as you can. Maybe trying to isolate and place down the toes one at a time. I'm absolutely rubbish at that one, so if you can do that, I'll be very impressed. But just placing those toes down one at a time, just finding that dexterity into the feet. Well done. And then just wherever you are, coming back, chest lifted, feeling proud here in your space. On your next inhale breath, take the arms wide, then high to the sky. If it doesn't work to take the arms wide, you just bring the hands to prayer. Exhale with a forward fold, flat back down towards the floor, keeping the hands close to the body if you need to. Inhale is a halfway lift, hands to shins. Exhale, plant your hands, soften the knees, step the right foot back, lower your back knee down, untuck the toes, sweep your hands low, then high to the sky. Now the hands can come to the thighs if you need to. You can even come back into a more upright position if it doesn't feel good to press into that front foot. If the arms are lifted, shoulder blades pull down and back, and you have a gaze, a drishti, a focus, one point ahead of you. Take one more deep inhale breath here. And then exhale, bring your hands down towards the floor, framing your front foot. Again, if that doesn't feel good, you've got any pressure here that doesn't feel good, you just stay up here. If you have the hands framing the front foot, untuck the back toes and lift the back knee off the floor. Take an inhale breath. And then exhale, press into the floor and try to step the left foot back so that you're in a plank. Now, it's quite a strong movement, so if you need to, you can always come up to upright, bring the hands down, lift the knees, or maybe even leave the knees on the floor. Take one inhale breath here, wherever you are, and then exhale, you're going to lower yourself down towards the floor in a flat line. Now, if that doesn't feel good for you, you come to a child's pose. Okay, so you're going to lower down all the way to the floor, forehead touches, your legs are now long on the floor. Zip the legs up like a cobra's tail. Take an inhale and exhale, lift the head, chest and shoulders, but without using that pressure in the hands. The hands are super soft and light. Maybe you're just staying forehead connected to the floor, pulling the shoulder blades down and back, squeezing into the legs. Take an inhale here. Exhale, bring the face down towards the floor. Press into the floor, keep the elbows in, return to a child's pose. And then tuck the toes. Take your tailbone high to a downward facing dog. Staying here for a couple of breaths. If you need to at any time, you take that child's pose or you take a break, whatever you need to do. Take one more deep inhale breath here. Exhale, let it go. Inhale, take a breath, soften your knees, look forwards, and you're going to try and step the right foot between your hands. Now, if it doesn't go there, it might go to there. That's fine. You can lower the back knee. Just give yourself a bit of help, bringing that leg forwards. And then you can step the left foot between the hands. Wherever you are, come to this position. So feet underneath the hips, fingertips to the floor. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up, look up, or keep the hands by your sides. Exhale, hands down by your sides, Tadasana, mountain pose. Well done. So just connecting back to the breath. Take a break whenever you need to. Maybe you can always pause this video, take a little moment and come back in when you're ready. On your inhale breath, take the arms wide and high to the sky, look up. Exhale, forward fold. So just keeping those arms where you need to for you and your body today. Inhale is halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, soften the knees, step the left foot back, lower the back knee down, untuck the toes, sweep the hands, low then high towards the sky. Remember, if that doesn't work for you, the hands just come to the thighs, no problem. You might even be up here, okay? So just working with what you've got and just breathing into that stillness there. Taking deep breath in through the nose, exhale out through the nose if you can, well done. Deep breath in through the nose, exhale out through the nose, inhale, then exhale, bring the hands down towards the floor, framing that front foot. So you're going to tuck the back toes here and elevate that back knee, but remember, if that's too much, you can just keep the knees down at all times. If the back knee is elevated, take an inhale, press into the floor, step the right foot back so you're in that plank position. Remember, your options are that you can come to a kneeling position, bring the knee back, bring the hands down, and then either lift the knees off the floor or just keep the knees down on the floor. So wherever you are, take an inhale. If the knees are off, lower the knees and then exhale. Everybody bring your chest down towards the floor. So wherever you are, you're going to come down to lie flat or take a child's pose if this doesn't feel good for you. Zip the legs up, and then on your inhale breath, lifting up into that chest space there. So squeezing the elbows down and back. No tension in the face, just making sure you can still breathe. Take one more deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, lowering the forehead down towards the floor, pressing to the hands, take the tailbone back towards the heels, and then returning to a downward facing dog, staying here for a couple of breaths. So just finding that balance with the breath, really spreading the fingers wide, that's your Hasta Bandha, your hand lock into the earth. Inhale, breath finds the spine, and then exhale, breath, you find that elevation in the hips. Remember, don't worry if the heels don't touch, you keep the knees as bent as you need to. Take one more deep breath in through the nose. Exhale here. On your next inhale, you soften the knees, look forwards, press into the floor. Step your left foot between the hands. Now remember, if it doesn't go the whole way, no worries at all. You just give yourself a little hand. If you need to, you can lower the back knee before you step it forwards. Otherwise, take an inhale. Exhale, step the back foot forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up, look up or come up with those hands close to your side. Exhale, hands down by your side, Tadasana. Well done. So wherever you are in your space, now I'm going to take the feet wide, toes off the mat. We're going to come down into a squat. So if I turn and face you this way, you're going to take an inhale breath, and as you exhale, come down with a flat spine into that squat position. Now this is a very intense and sometimes very uncomfortable position. So if you're working with any of those restrictions in your knees, your hips, your ankles, these bricks are great. I highly recommend you treat yourself to some bricks. Or some cushions or something like that that you can prop underneath you. Now if you're doing this and you're able to, you can place the elbows into those inner thighs. If your heels are coming off the floor, you can roll up a towel. Imagine that this is a towel and you can place your heels on the towel, okay? Or you're just here finding that breath, sending it into those hips. Now if none of this works for you, you can take your happy baby pose, so coming onto your back, taking hold of the outside edge of the feet. Okay, so it really depends on what is good for you and your body today. So wherever you are, coming to that breath, try to keep the face as devoid of tension as possible. Take one more deep inhale breath here. And then exhale, just place those hands down on the floor, bring the knees down towards the floor. If you've been on your back, come and join us in a child's pose. So bringing the tailbone back there towards the heels, reaching those arms forwards, take an inhale. As you exhale, come forwards to a tabletop, Pop your tailbone down, extend your legs. Give the legs a little shake from all that bending. And then bending the knees. We're going to roll down slowly. You can use your hands here to aid you through the thighs, or you can elevate the hands off and reach forward. So take an inhale breath. And then exhale, rolling down with control. If you need to, you can absolutely guide yourself down there, coming down one little bit at a time before you lie completely flat on your back. Just give the legs a little shake here. And then bending the knees, bringing them in towards your chest. Just give yourself a little hug side to side. Placing the feet flat on the floor, coming into a bridge variation. Hands are flat. Take an inhale, shoulder blades soften into the ground. As you exhale, squeeze into your glutes and lift those hips. Now, careful you're not over forcing anything, so you don't need to overarch into the spine. You're looking for that length through the thighs, engagement into the glutes, and also belly button to spine to support your back. Your face is super soft, you're just breathing here, finding that nice little rounding in the spine as well. Taking one more deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, rolling down with control, just windscreen wiping those legs there. Well done. Now from here we're going to finish with a little twist. So take the arms out in line with the shoulders, or if like me you don't have much space, you can cactus the arms. So that means you're doing that with the arms on the floor basically. Keep the elbows in line with the shoulders, and then wrists in line with the elbows. Take an inhale breath, sit the belly and bring the knees up in line with the hips. You can also keep the feet on the floor if that feels too much. Take an inhale. As you exhale, take the knees to the right, and then you're going to look to your left. Now, if that feels too much, you just take the knees further away. So the further the knees are away from your belly button, the less challenging it is for your back and for your abdominals. So if the knees are up further, it's kind of more of a twist. Knees are further away, it's less of a twist. And then you're just going to turn your gaze over towards that left-hand side. Take a deep inhale breath here. Exhale, just allowing your body to surrender into the floor. And then inhale, going to zip your belly in, bring your knees to the center. Again, you can just keep the feet connected to the floor if you need to. And then exhale, take them to the left. So if you're like me, you've got a little bit, not much space, you can just twist to the left, look to your right. There's always a way. There's always a way. So just wherever you had your arm on the other side, just try to keep it balanced on this side as well. Just really acknowledging that sense of grounding that the earth can give you here. Take an inhale breath. As you exhale, zip the belly into your spine, bring the knees through the center. Just readjust yourself on the mat. Give yourself a little hug side to side. And then allow the legs to come completely long onto the floor in a final Shavasana. Palms facing up. Breathing now in through the nose and out through the mouth. And if you need to, if that doesn't feel good for your back, you can keep your knees bent, or you can absolutely come back to a seated position like we did at the beginning. So taking a deep inhale breath here through the nose. Exhale, just letting it go. Being aware of any tension that might be creeping back in already, any stress that might be connected to the rest of your day. Just trying to stay present here in your space, on your mat, or wherever you are. And just really acknowledging and appreciating the fact you've made it to your mat today, which is a massive achievement in itself. So it can be challenging to be still, so just acknowledging anything that comes up, counting the breath if you need to help keep the mind from wandering. And any thoughts that come in, you just observe them, you just watch them, you listen to them, but you don't let them become what you are. So you're just watching them, you let them go, or you just know that they're there, but they don't need to control you. Unless they're positive, we can allow those to come in. Taking one more deep breath in here through the nose. Exhale, just let it go. Then bending the knees, bringing the knees in towards the chest, just giving yourself a little rock here side to side. And then coming onto either side, your right or your left side, taking a moment there on the floor before pressing yourself up to a seated position. So back almost to where we started. Just taking a moment or two here to ground yourself back down before you go back into your day. So there's no rush. If you have time, you're welcome to stay in a Shavasana in your space. Just taking those last couple of breaths into the nose, out through the mouth now. Just allowing your shoulder base to soften back down into the spine. Really enjoying that breath. If you yawn, that's great. That's a really good stress relief. I just had to hold a yawn back there. But if you yawn, that's fine. So yawning is a great stress relief. If you have any yawns that come up, just allow them to happen. Unless, of course, perhaps you're in a situation where it could be seen as rude. But anyway, well done. We're just going to acknowledge the practice here. So take one more deep inhale breath. And then just acknowledging your practice in whatever way works for you. So it's completely personal. Taking a moment there to just acknowledge the fact you got to your mat today. Well done. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next class.